going to be showing you guys two different Valentine's Day makeup tutorials using two different palettes. I recently uploaded a Valentine's Day look using more affordable options, and in today's video I'm using more high-end products. In the first tutorial you'll see me use the Huda Beauty New Nudes palette, and I also created a look using the Norvina palette. I recently asked you guys in my community center which palette you wanted me to use in this video, and the poll was so close that I decided to do two different looks. So that's what we're gonna do. I wanted to give you guys different options in case, you know, maybe you have the Norvina palette but you don't have the Huda Beauty, or you have the Huda Beauty but you don't have the Norvina. So I thought, you know what, let's just do two tutorials in one video. In the description box down below, I have left some timestamps for you so that in case, you know, maybe you don't want to watch the tutorial of the New Nudes palette and you want to jump ahead and watch the Norvina tutorial, then I went ahead and included that in there for you for your convenience. Also for your convenience, everything that I used in each look will all be in the description box down below, and it will be very easy for you guys to find it. I will put it in sections, so the first look will be first, and then right below it will be the second look. And I hope you guys are excited about this video, and I hope you guys have a wonderful, happy Valentine's Day. And without further ado, let's jump right into the video. So let's go ahead and start doing this first makeup look. Now, as you can see, I got a nasty breakout. Of course, I'm gonna go in with my Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched face base and like really get my skin nice and prepped. I am gonna use a little bit more of a mattifying foundation. Don't get me wrong, it's not like super matte, but it is not my typical like super glowy foundation. So I'm just gonna really work that into my skin. And then I'm going to go in with the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Falls filter. You guys know I love this product. When I'm wearing more of a natural matte type foundation, this is when I really, really like this product because it still gives me that glow from within and kind of comes through the foundation. And I just love it. I love it so much. Okay, so I'm going to just blend that out with a brush like I normally do. And I just use the same brush every time. When I'm doing any kind of special occasion, I like to do my eye makeup first and then go in with my other products, but I hate putting foundation around my brows. It drives me nuts. So I'm gonna go ahead and put foundation right up around this area, do my brows, do my eye look, and then go ahead and do the rest of my makeup. For this Valentine's Day look, I'm gonna go ahead and use the Lancome Ultra Wear Foundation, only because I really love the way that my skin looks when I wear this, and it's very long lasting, and it's more of a naturally matte type foundation. Now, the thing that I like about this is that it does have really, really good coverage. Because I have a breakout, I'm gonna need the coverage. But the thing that I like about this foundation is that it blends in so stinking fast and it sets down. So this foundation really sets down on the skin, and I just love it. I want my foundation to be hassle-free. I want to be able to put it on and then never have to worry about it throughout the rest of the night. I'm gonna go in with the Charlotte Tilbury, this is the Legendary Brows, and kind of give me some volume right here on this outer portion. This is the Dior Brow Styler in the shade Universal Brown. And basically, I'm just gonna kind of carve out my brows and kind of create that line. Then I'm just gonna take the pencil and kind of just go in and fill it in, just creating these tiny little strokes. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply this eyeshadow base from P. Louise. This is in the shade number 3. And I'm just gonna put some right here on my eye. I'm gonna take any old concealer brush and just kind of blend that out. And just kind of carve out the brows and sharpen up that line a little bit. Next, I'm gonna go with this brush. This is from the Sonia G Pro Eye Set, and this is the Crease Pro. And I am going to first go into the shade Teddy. And I'm basically gonna put Teddy right here on this outer corner and just kind of build up that shade. I'm gonna switch to my Builder Pro. This is what that brush looks like. And then I'm gonna take that same shade and I'm gonna bring it here on the inner corner And then once you have that shade where you want it, I'm just going to go ahead and place this right here in the crease and kind of connect those two together. Kind of just creating that halo eye. Now I'm going to go back to the Crease Pro and I'm going to go into that shade, Teddy, and now I'm just going to kind of start working this in my crease. Just lightly and kind of blending that out. These shades are so pigmented and they blend so nice. I know that this palette is very expensive, but it is worth it. Like, this is a good palette. Now I'm just taking the side of the brush and I'm just gonna kind of buff out those lines right here. I don't really want anything harsh, so I'm just kind of buffing it out. Next, I'm going to go into this pencil brush from the Sonia G Pro Eye Set, and I'm going to go into the shade Raw, and I'm going to pop this right here on this outer corner, kind of creating that definition. And then also bringing it right here in the inner corner. And then I'm going to kind of carve out my crease with that. And not bring it up too high. I'm just kind of keeping it right there in the crease. I'm going to wipe off that brush and I'm going to go into the shade Play, which is kind of like a peachy pink. And I'm going to pop this right here on the crease. Just right there, just to really lighten that up a little bit. It will just kind of give it a little bit of that peachy pink to it. Then I'm going to go back into Teddy and pop it back over top. Now I'm going to go into the conceal shade. I'm going to take this concealer brush from Luxie. This is the 245 small shader brush. And I'm going to go into that shade Conceal. And I'm going to pop that right here on my lid. Now I'm just taking that pencil brush and I'm going over those edges just to soften it up. I'm going to go into the shade Crave. Let's go in with our finger first. Oh my gosh, these are so freaking pretty. Okay, now I'm going to go back in with the pencil brush and I'm going to go into the shade Teddy. And I'm going to kind of softly buff that line out a little bit. I just want it to be more of a natural effect. Then I'm going to go into the shade Raw, and I'm really going to darken up this outer corner. Okay, we're going to get back to the eyes in a minute, but I am going to kind of clean up my lower lash line. I'm going to go back in and put some hydration back in that under eye area because, you know, I do have drier under eyes. I'm going to go ahead and apply my foundation. I'm going to go back into the Lancome Ultra Wear and go ahead and start building this up. It's a little bit too dark for me though right now. Like literally it's a little bit too dark. So I recommend blending it down into your neck if you have a foundation that's a little bit too dark. All right, let's go in with concealer. I'm going to use the Magic Away Concealer from Charlotte Tilbury. And this is just a very soft concealer. I'm almost out of this one. I have a new one, but I'm trying to use the rest of this one. It looks like I'm using a lot, but I promise it's not. It is not a lot. Because this foundation is a little bit too dark for me, I'm going to highlight this part of my face, and I'm just going to use my sponge, the other side of my sponge, to work that in. Okay, for contour, I'm going to take the KKW Beauty in the shade Tan. carve this out. For the bronzer, I'm going to take the Charlotte Tilbury Filmstar Bronze and Glow palette. I'm going to go into the bronzer here. And this is the Chic Pro from the Sonia G Pro Face Set. And I'm just going to kind of place this right over top of this contour. For blush, I'm going to go into the Charlotte Tilbury Cheek to Chic blush. This is in the shade First Love, and I kind of felt like this would kind of match the eye look that I have going on. And pop that right here on the cheek. All right, for highlighter, I'm gonna take this from Charlotte Tilbury. This is the Beauty Light Wand, and I am going to pop this right here on the cheek. I've been really enjoying having a cream highlight down first before going with powder. I feel like it gives me the best highlighter. It still is a natural highlighter, but it still gives me, in my opinion, the best highlighter results. So I'm just blending this out with my finger. Then I'm going to use the highlighter from this palette right here, this one right here. Just kind of apply that over top. There is something so magical about Charlotte Tilbury's products. Like, oh my gosh. I know that they're expensive, but they are so magical. Like, seriously, you guys, they're magic. You guys have probably noticed that my skin has looked much better in the last several videos, and it's because I've been using this. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish. This is a skin perfecting micro powder. I have it in the shade 2 medium, and I bought this a while back and I could never get it to work. No matter what brush I used, I could never get it to work until I got the Pro Face Set from Sonia G, and this Face Pro brush applies it like a dream. I can't do my makeup now without this. It is so airbrushed. I love it. So I just basically sweep this right along here around my forehead, around my nose, and then I bring it right here. I put it right there on the T-zone. And let me tell you something, this is like magic over the pores. Like, it literally, I can't even explain to you, like, all this creeping skin that I have right here, like, disappears when I put this product over top of it. It, like, disappears. It's, like, never existed. Unbelievable product. I'm going to go back into the new Nudes palette. I'm going to grab this smudger brush. This is from Sigma. This is the E32 brush, and I'm going to go back into Teddy, and I'm going to use that to smoke this on my lower lash line very, very softly. I'm going to go in with this brush from Sigma. This is the smudge brush. This is the E21, and I'm going to go into the shade Raw. And I am going to focus that right close to the lash line. Right here on this outer corner. And then I'm going to bring that right here on the inner corner. Now let's go in with an eyeliner. I'm actually going to use the black right up next to my lash line only because I'm going to be putting lashes on. And I really want that black look right here close to my waterline. So I'm taking the Marc Jacobs, this is the highliner, or what are they called? I'll put them at the bottom because I can't remember. For my inner corner highlight, I'm gonna go in back into the shade Crave. I want something a little bit more for my inner corner. So I'm gonna go into the highlighter that I used. I'm gonna go into the Charlotte Tilbury Filmstar Bronze and Glow palette, and I'm gonna pick up the highlighter and I'm gonna go over top of that. On the lower lash line, I'm going to take this from Sephora. It is a contour eye pencil, and this is in the shade Blonde Ambition, number 6. But I'm going to take a Q-tip, and I'm going to go along my lash line and pick up any product that's sitting on. I mean, you would be surprised how much product sits there. So I'm removing all of that, and then I'm going to go in with this. I'm going to warm it up with my hands. Now, it has a little bit of a shimmer to it, as you can see, which is the reason why I'm using it, because I kind of like that shimmery look. And I can get that shimmer right there on that lash line without going in to that shade on the Huda Beauty palette, because the Huda Beauty palette has a little bit of that chunkiness to it, and I really don't want that irritating my eyes and getting into my eyes, you know, throughout the day. For those of you guys that do not use false lashes, I'm going to show you guys how I achieve my best eyelashes without false lashes. This is the Dior Show Maximizer 3D. This is the triple volume plumping lash primer. And I'm going to run this through my eyelashes, and this will thicken them. This is seriously one of the best eyelash thickeners ever. Of course, I've curled my eyelashes twice before going in with this product. I do recommend curling your lashes first. And then I would take a spoolie and just go through it and make sure that you don't have any clumps and they're nice and coated. So one of my subscribers, I have to give her a shout out. Her YouTube name is I_bleed_makeup. And she had told me that I needed to try this Kevyn Aucoin. This is the Expert Mascara. This is in the shade Blood Roses, which is black. And I will link it in the description box down below. This is one of the best mascaras I've ever used, ever, for those days where I'm not going to be wearing lashes. The reason why I say that is because this is very buildable, very wispy, but it's a very soft mascara. It's probably the softest mascara I think I've ever worn. And the way that it applies is unbelievable. Like, I am obsessed with this. So glad that I listened to her and I bought this mascara. So you can really build this mascara. And the thing that I love about it the most is just how soft it is. It's so soft. You don't even feel like you have mascara on. I think that's what I like about it the most, besides the fact that it makes my real lashes look amazing. So if you are not going to be wearing false lashes, I recommend putting like 3 or 4 coats of this on. Okay, so I could leave this here, or I could put lashes on, and I think I am going to go ahead and put on a false pair of lashes. Okay, so I went ahead and put on my Iconic Lights from House of Lashes. They're definitely one of my favorite lashes. I like these lashes because I don't wear winged liner, and so I feel like with these lashes, they kind of give that lift here at the end. So that's one reason why I love these. They're very comfortable, and I really love them. So I went ahead and lined my lips with this Charlotte Tilbury Iconic Nude, and the reason why I chose this is because I have smaller lips, but I would like my lips to appear to be a little bit larger. So with a nude lip liner, you can go a little bit around the outside of your lip just to try to give a little bit more fullness if you have smaller, thinner lips like I do. So then I'm gonna go in with this. This is from Fenty. This is the Stunna Lip Paint, and this is in the shade Uncuffed. This is one of my favorite formulas. And the reason why I love this so much is because, one, it's super pigmented, like pigmented. This is maximum pigmentation. It's long lasting, it's comfortable, it doesn't dry my lips out. Like, Fenty killed it with this formula. So I'm gonna go ahead and stick this on. It's so comfortable, you guys, and it's instant pigmentation. It looks stunning on the lips, and I love it. So that's it for this tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I really love this Huda Beauty eyeshadow look. It's one of my favorites, you guys. It's so beautiful. I love the way that new Nudes palette blends. It's so good. And I know it's more expensive, but this palette is absolutely beautiful and so easy to create a look with. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Let's jump right into the next tutorial, and I'm going to use all different products, all different foundation, concealer, blush, bronzers, all of that. And I'm also going to be using the Norvina palette. So let's head into the second tutorial. Okay, so let's get into part 2. Now, just like I did yesterday, I went ahead and put foundation right up here on my forehead and completed my brows. And I've also put the P. Louise eyeshadow base down, and just so that everything is prepped and ready to go, but I did it the exact same way I did yesterday. So I figured I really didn't need to do that on camera. Let's go ahead and start playing with this Norvina palette. It's been a minute since I've actually played with this palette. I am going to use the brush that came in the palette. That's very convenient to have the brush right there in the palette. So I'm going to first go into base right here, and I'm going to put that all over the lid and just kind of sweep that in there and kind of lighten up that right next to the brow bone. I just want to lighten up that area a little bit. Then I'm going to take this brush. This is actually from the Morphe and Jaclyn Hill collection. This is the JH 42 brush. I'm going to go into the first shade Dreamer, and I'm going to pop that right up underneath my brow bone, right underneath my brow. Don't mind me. Right underneath the brow, just right there in the arch. I'm going to take the ABH brush, and I'm going to go into the shade Love. And again, it's very dusty, so I'm going to go ahead and just kind of pop this right here in the crease and just kind of build that up. Now I'm going to go into Volatile right next to it, and I'm going to concentrate this right below that. And then blend that in. So I kind of applied it right there below the pink shade. I'm going to use this part of the brush and just really blend that in. Now let's go back into Love, and let's bring that intensity back in with that shade. And I think I'm going to go into the shade Incense right next to it, that like light tan. And I'm going to concentrate that right between my brow bone and the pink shade, just to kind of soften up that edge a little bit. Now let's go into Wild Child. So I'm going to take this from the Sonia G Pro Eye Set, and this is the Worker Pro. Press this right here. Oh, I have never used this shade, and it is so pretty, you guys. Oh my gosh. Okay, so that shade is really, really pretty, but it's very chunky. So I am going to use this small little teeny concealer brush. This is from Bare Minerals, and I'm going to go in and grab that shade and kind of define right there in that crease, because like this is very, it's a kind of a chunkier shadow. And I'm really glad that I didn't do my face makeup first, because I'm already getting a lot of fallout from that shade. I don't recommend doing your face makeup before going in with that shade, because it is very messy. Okay, now I'm going to take the stiffer end of this ABH brush, and I'm going to go into that shade Love. And I'm going to start kind of building this up right here on this outer corner, kind of blending it into that shade. Then I'm going to go into Volatile and just really start kind of building that up, concentrating that shade as close to the lash line as I can get it. So basically, I'm just kind of building that shade on top of itself, and then I'll just kind of buff it into the crease. I'm going to go in with my finger into Wild Child. I have it here. And I'm going to press it on this part. And then I'm going to push that shade that was on this brush into that. So I put a little bit of the pink on. And then I took the brush and then just smoked that gray into it. Now I'm going to go into the shade Dreamer, the first shade, and I'm going to pop that right here in the middle. But I'm going to go back into that concealer brush and just kind of blend that into it. I'm going to go back into this part of the brush and I'm going to go into Love. And I'm going to bring that back to life one more time in the crease. So I'm just going to take my makeup wipe and I'm going to clean up underneath here. And kind of sharpen that line just a tad. Then I'm going to go with my finger and just kind of tap out any parts that I feel like are just a little bit too sharp. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and finish up the eyes in a minute. So I'm going to use the Born This Way foundation today, only because it's full coverage and I have two massive honkin' little breakouts right here. Look, I don't even know what to call them because I suck that bad. Now, if you don't need a full coverage foundation, then I wouldn't wear a full coverage foundation. If you want this look to be more soft and more natural, I would use maybe like a medium foundation, medium coverage. I'm using a full coverage because I really need this covered up. The Born This Way Too Faced foundation because it's a radiant foundation, but it's full coverage. It also sets down almost like a matte, but I would say this is probably one of my top 5 favorite foundations. It really, really works good, and I love the way that it presses into my skin, and I love the way it feels on my skin, and it's long wearing. So this is a type of foundation where it's very dependable. I know that this is gonna last me all night long and I don't have to think about it. Concealer, I'm gonna use the Tarte Creaseless Concealer, and I'm also gonna use the Fenty Beauty in shade 260. I'm gonna put the shade 260 like right here because this is just a little bit darker than what I have. And this is a really nice lightweight concealer. I'm gonna put the Tarte Creaseless right up here closer to this part. And then I'm just gonna use my sponge to blend that out. And the reason why I'm using the Tarte Creaseless Concealer is because this looks really, really good right up on those creases. Next up, I'm going to take this powder from Charlotte Tilbury. This is the Airbrush Flawless Finish. This is a Skin Perfecting Micro Powder in shade 2. I'm going to use the Sonia G Face Pro brush. And I'm just going to place this right here over my nose and kind of set that area. And then right here over my cheeks. This powder just really smooths everything out. And it looks so good, you guys. It looks really good over my creeping skin. You know how you have that real thin skin right there in that area? This just goes over top of it and just smooths it out. Next, I'm gonna go in with the Charlotte Tilbury Contour Wand. This is in the shade Fair Medium, and this blends out so good, you guys. It's like amazing. The only thing that I recommend with this product is to kind of work in sections. So I would work on your cheeks and then move up on the forehead, just because it doesn't like dry really, really fast, but as you can see, it blends out so stinking smooth. But it looks better if you blend it out quickly versus letting it sit there. So I'm just gonna kind of shorten up my forehead just a tad. So I'm just gonna kind of like work this out. This is the Luxie 680 brush. And it is one of my favorite contour brushes. I love it so much. Now, as far as bronzer goes, I'm gonna use the NARS. This is the Laguna bronzer. This is what it looks like. I have a little sample of it. I actually have the large size, but I'm using this one up before I pull out the large size. The large size, I actually got that using my reward points from Sephora. I'm really stoked about it. I got it for like 600 points or something. So I'm just gonna like tap that over the contour. And just really diffuse that product into the skin. I'm going to take the side of the sponge and just kind of go over it just to make sure that it's like diffused into the skin. For blush, I'm going to use the shade Orgasm from NARS. So this is kind of a real pretty like peachy pink, but it also has a little tiny bit of a shimmer to it. It's one of my favorite blush shades from like I've been using it for quite some time. I feel like it will match the shadow really well. Like I feel like it's matching the pink shadow that I have on my eyes. Now it's very pigmented, so I would wipe the brush off and then go in and just really work that into the skin. And then I'm going to take my sponge and really work that in. Just so that I, you know, sometimes I get a little bit carried away with blush. I can't help it. So now I'm going to go in with the Ambient Lighting palette from Hourglass, and I'm just going to take my Luxie 514 brush and go through all of those shades. And I'm just going to like place this over my face just to give that highlight. For highlighter, I'm going to do the exact same thing that I did yesterday with the two highlighters. I'm going to take this highlighter one from Charlotte Tilbury. Then I'm going to take my finger and blend those in. I think I'm going to take this brush and really blend that in. This is probably the prettiest liquid highlighters I think I've ever used. Just because the way that it blends into the skin, it's like a natural effect. You can't see it sitting on the skin, but you can see the highlight that it gives. That's what I like about it, because there's a lot of liquid highlighters. I don't know if this happens to you, but a lot of the liquid highlighters that I have personally, some of them will turn me a little bit gray, and I do not like that gray look. But the one from Charlotte Tilbury, oh, you guys, it's so good. I think for highlighter, I'm going to take this stick from Fenty Beauty. This is in the shade Starstruck. And I'm just going to go over this just a tad. And give that pinkiness to it. Because I'm wearing that pink eyeshadow, I want to bring a little bit of that pinkiness to the look. Now I recommend setting your face with some long-lasting setting spray. So I'm going to use the Urban Decay All Nighter. The thing about setting spray is that it melts everything together. And I feel like if you're not somebody that likes wearing setting spray very often, I do recommend wearing some type of setting spray on special occasions, whether it's a date night or, you know, Valentine's Day or a party or whatever it is. I recommend it. So let's go back in with the brush from ABH. I've been really trying to use this brush as much as I can through this tutorial. I'm going to go into the shade Incense. I'm going to put that right up underneath here using the stiffer part of the brush. And then I'm going to go into that pink, which is the shade Love, and I'm going to pop that right up underneath here. And then I'm going to take this part of the brush and just really fluff that out. I think I have this gray eyeliner. This is from Juice Beauty. I think I got this in like a subscription box, but I recommend using a gray eyeliner if you can. And I'm going to go up and put this right up here on my upper lash line. Same thing with yesterday's tutorial. If you don't want to wear artificial lashes, I recommend putting on a lash primer and then going in with your mascara and really, really build up your lashes and give them that fullness. But today I am definitely going to be putting on a pair of lashes. So I went ahead and put on the Ethereal Lights from House of Lashes only because I just felt like they were just a little bit more fluttery. I don't know. They were just kind of calling to me when I pulled them out. So let's go ahead and put on the inner corner highlight. I'm just going to do a tiny little bit, but I'm going to use the shade Dreamer, this one right here, the first one in the palette. And let's just pop a little bit right there. I don't want to go like too overboard. So let's go ahead and put on a lip liner. I'm going to use this one from ColourPop. This is in the shade Beeper. I always like to try to find a lip liner that matches this color right here in my outer corner. Like, as long as it's the same tone, like I don't care if it's as dark as whatever's on the outer corner, as long as it's the same tone. As you can see, this shade kind of matches that outer corner. Then whatever I put on my inner part of my lip, like whatever lipstick I use, I like to match what's on my lid with that. So for my lipstick, I'm going to use the lipstick from NARS in the shade Orgasm, because one, it kind of matches my blush, and two, it does have that like peachy pink. To top everything off, I am going to go into the Norvina palette and I'm going to grab the shade Wild Child. I'm going to grab that pink shade that we have on our lid, and I'm going to grab my finger and I'm going to lightly go in it, and I'm going to pop it right here on the inner part of my lip. Just to really bring out that pink that's on my lid. Do you see how much difference that made? I'm always a fan of doing that. I always love doing that. It's one of my favorite tricks to match the lid, is to pop whatever eyeshadow is on my lid on my lip. So that's it for this tutorial. I thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today, and I hope you guys enjoyed both of these tutorials. Happy Valentine's Day to all of you guys out there. I hope you guys have a special night with your significant loved one. I love you guys so much, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day filled with love and happiness. I will see you guys right back here tomorrow at 11 a.m., and I love you all so much. Bye!